Hey everyone, GScotty here. In this series, I try to get an hour of gameplay for every dollar spent on a certain game. So, with that in mind, is Moonlighter worth $1 an hour? Make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and let's check it out. I've always liked the stories of people who manage their own stores and gather their own resources. My grandparents actually had their own restaurant, so I've always thought it'd be cool to manage a store like that. Speaking of which, buy the merch today. I would love to write a story about someone who owns a shop and sells whatever they find from dangerous locales. I'm sure it would be a smashing hit that's super original. No, biscuits. No, you go away for now. Maybe later. Just go away. I've had Moonlighter on my radar for a while now, and it's normally only 20 bucks. Well, I for one am super excited to see what this game has to offer, and I hope I can make my Nana and Papa proud. Moonlighter is an action RPG developed by Digital Sun and first released on November 5th, 2018. You play as Will, a young man tasked with managing his inherited shop called Moonlighter by day, and he traverses the dark dungeons by his home by night. When you manage your shop, it's up to you to pick your prices, and it's a finer balance than you might think. You need to make a profit, but you also don't want to ask for too much, lest potential customers will begrudgingly turn from your shop empty-handed. Then you have to think about just how popular an item is at the current time, as well as how difficult it is for you to get. I love this item management part of the game. I find it incredibly satisfying when you see a customer get just the right expression, and you make a great sale. I mean, you gotta respect the grind, am I right? After shop management, it's time to explore the dark, dank dungeons. I think it's very cool that the dungeons are ever changing. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I absolutely love roguelikes. You give me a game with ever-changing dungeons, and you can consider my interests piqued. In between your plundering and shopkeeping, you can purchase upgrades for your shop, as well as invite people into your town to help you in various ways. From potion crafting, weapon enhancements, item gathering, and so on and so forth. The simple way of going about this game, storekeeping, dungeon delving, town building, and repeat. This cycle is very easy to understand and to get the hang of. I think that's great. But it's also the beginning of one of the biggest complaints I personally have with the game. It just feels a bit too formulaic and repetitive. I remember when, after playing the game for only a few hours, I thought to myself, wait, this is it? No, yes, that is pretty much it. I think that what Moonlighter has to offer is fun, don't get me wrong, but after the novelty of your routine wears off, the game doesn't offer much else that's new or grabs your attention. Sure, there are new items and a few new dungeons to unlock, but there really isn't much of a narrative reason to keep progressing through the story. So after a while, you really start asking yourself, what's the point? One last thing I wanted to mention in this section, the combat also has a lot to be desired. For me, the attack inputs were a bit slow and clunky, and it's hard to explain, but it doesn't feel like certain actions should be mapped to certain buttons. Like, why is dodge mapped to RT? I know I can change it, but still, it's just weird. Maybe that's just a me thing. I don't know, there was a lot of design choices that I just found to not be the best for retaining players. Mythical dungeons appeared near the village of Renoka, drawing the attention of many brave adventurers and shopkeepers. Thanks to the sudden rush of folks, the economy booms. However, after a while, with the decline of heroes who return from the dungeons, people slowly leave the village, leaving it a desolate, lonely home to very few. Will's father passes away, leaving his shop, the Moonlighter, in Will's care. However, Will has always dreamed of exploring the dungeons, so he decides, hey, why not both? A shopkeeper by day and a hero by night. And that's the story. Yep. You keep a shop and you dive into dungeons. That's pretty much it. I just wish there was more. Moonlighter is a bit harder to rate than I thought it would be. Though I did enjoy the shopkeeping aspect of the game at first, the clunky exploration of the dungeons and the combat got pretty repetitive and boring after a few dives. And sadly, there comes a point once you figure out the best price for your items that the shopkeeping gets a little bit dull as well. I feel like this game really does suffer from not having a narrative, or a stronger story progression at least. I would have loved to learn more about Will and the other villagers of Rinuka, and I think the game would have been all the better for it. Unfortunately, there just isn't much pulling you into the game once you've gotten the everyday routine down. I really wanted to love this game. The elevator pitch of it really intrigued me. However, there just wasn't enough meat on the bones to justify me spending any more time on it. Now, I will say, if you look past some of the jank and you're not really one who plays video games to experience narrative or story, I think you'll have a good time with this one. I can tell that this game has an audience. Maybe you're the target demographic. I say give it a shot if you'd like. It's definitely a chill experience, and I think you'll love it if you like games like that. At the end of the day, Moonlighter is fun, especially when you find the sweet selling point of items in your store, but it does struggle to hold your attention for longer than a short play session every now and then. And when you do play, it isn't as smooth as it wants to be. I suppose I can narrow it down to this one statement. Moonlighter's pretty good, but it really could have been excellent. So, what's the final verdict? Is Moonlighter worth $1 an hour? Maybe, on a discount. A massive thank you to all of you who are members of the channel, especially the biggest patrons of the month, my pal Johnny Appleseed. If you want to support the channel and gain access to cool perks like exclusive videos, stream VODs, and more, click the join button to learn how. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Bye-bye!